Welcome back, my spooky friends. Tonight, we journey into the heart of darkness. We're uncovering the sinister secrets lurking beneath the surface of the ordinary foods we consume. So lock your doors, turn off the lights, and settle in as we explore the chilling truth behind the hidden side of everyday foods. Deep in the countryside, nestled amongst rolling hills, lay a small orchard with a dark secret. This orchard, though seemingly serene and picturesque, held a sinister reputation that had been whispered about for generations. At its heart stood an ancient apple tree, its gnarled branches heavy with unnaturally perfect fruit. The apples, though beautiful and enticing, were said to be cursed, harboring a malevolent force that no one dared to challenge. Locals whispered tales of the tree, warning of a malevolent entity drawn to its bounty. They spoke in hushed tones, sharing stories of those who had dared to taste the fruit and had never been the same again. One autumn evening, a young woman named Anya, new to the village, wandered into the orchard. Unaware of the dark legends, she was captivated by the beauty of the apples, their perfect form glistening in the moonlight. Drawn by the allure of the forbidden, she plucked an apple and took a bite. The taste was unlike anything she had ever experienced, sweet, yet with an underlying bitterness that sent a shiver down her spine. That night, Anya was plagued by vivid nightmares of twisted figures with eyes like burning coals. The figures seemed to reach out to her, their whispers echoing in her mind, filling her with dread. Each time she woke, she felt an icy hand clutching at her insides. The sensation was so real it left her gasping for breath, her heart pounding in her chest. Days turned into weeks, and the nightmares grew more terrifying. Each night, the figures became more vivid, their whispers more insistent, leaving Anya in a state of constant fear and exhaustion. Anya withered away, her once vibrant skin now pallid and drawn. Her eyes, once full of life, now reflected the torment she endured each night. The villagers, though sympathetic, could offer no solace. They watched helplessly as Anya's condition worsened, their own fears of the cursed apple tree growing stronger. One moonlit night, Anya stumbled back to the orchard, drawn by an unseen force. It was as if the tree itself was calling her, its dark power pulling her closer. With a final breath, she collapsed beneath the tree, the cursed apple rolling from her lifeless hand. The orchard seemed to grow darker, the air thick with an eerie silence. Some say her soul remains trapped within the orchard, forever bound to the tree. Her spirit, they claim, can be seen wandering amongst the trees, a ghostly figure lost in eternal torment. The villagers, shaken by Anya's fate, chopped down the ancient tree and sealed the orchard. They hoped to rid their village of the curse, but the memory of Anya's tragic end lingered. But on quiet nights, some say you can still hear Anya's mournful cries. The sound, carried by the wind, serves as a haunting reminder of the orchard's dark past. The apple, once a symbol of life, now serves as a chilling reminder of the hunger that lurks beneath the surface. Its perfect exterior hides a darkness that few dare to confront. Remember this tale, my friends, the next time you reach for a piece of fruit, for you never know what darkness might lie hidden beneath its skin, waiting to be unleashed. The cursed apple serves as a warning, a story passed down through generations, reminding us all to be wary of the temptations that may lead to our doom. In the heart of a bustling city stood a bakery with a sinister secret. It was a place where the aroma of freshly baked bread mingled with an unsettling sense of dread. Its aroma hid a note of despair and decay, a scent that seemed to whisper of forgotten sorrows. The bakery was known for its bread, particularly one loaf baked with stolen grains under a blood moon. This loaf was said to be imbued with a dark curse. Legend had it that anyone who consumed the bread would invite misfortune into their lives, a series of unfortunate events that would unravel their very existence. A young baker named Thomas, new to the city and eager to prove himself, found himself employed at the infamous bakery. He was unaware of the dark history that surrounded it. The other bakers warned Thomas about the loaf, sharing tales of its cursed nature, but he dismissed their concerns as mere superstition, relics of an old, fearful past. He began baking the bread, his heart filled with a sense of accomplishment. The process was meticulous, and the result was a loaf that looked perfect on the outside. Unable to resist, Thomas tore off a chunk of the still warm loaf. The bread was soft and inviting, a stark contrast to the warnings he had heard. As the bread touched his lips, a cold shiver ran down his spine. It was as if the very essence of the curse had seeped into his soul. But as the days turned into weeks, Thomas's life began to unravel. Small mishaps turned into major disasters, and his once promising career started to crumble. Misfortune followed him relentlessly, his creations emerging burnt or misshapen. The bakery's reputation began to suffer, and Thomas felt the weight of the curse bearing down on him. He became withdrawn, his cheerful demeanor replaced by a haunted look. The joy he once found in baking was replaced by a deep, unshakable fear. One night, driven to despair and seeking answers, Thomas returned to the bakery. The darkness seemed to close in around him as he stepped inside. He stumbled towards the back, drawn by an unseen force, and there sat the cursed loaf. It seemed to glow with an eerie light, beckoning him closer. As he reached for the bread, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the bakery. The sound was otherworldly, chilling him to the bone. The other bakers found Thomas collapsed on the floor, his eyes wide with terror. He was unresponsive, his mind seemingly shattered by the experience. He never recovered, his mind shattered. The once promising young baker was now a shell of his former self, lost to the curse of the haunted bread. The bakery closed soon after, its ovens falling silent. The once bustling establishment was now a dark, empty shell, a testament to the curse's power. The cursed loaf vanished, but the legend of the haunted bread lived on. Whispers of its dark power continued to circulate, a warning to all who heard it. Remember this tale, my friends, the next time you break bread, for you never know what unseen forces might be at play, lurking in the shadows of the everyday. The haunted bread remains a mystery, a dark chapter in the city's history. Beware, for the curse may still be out there, waiting for its next victim. In a quiet suburban home, a can of soup sat on a pantry shelf, its colorful label hiding a dark secret. It was a seemingly ordinary can, blending in with the other groceries, but it held a sinister presence that no one could have anticipated. This was no ordinary can of soup. It was a vessel of something ancient and evil, a malevolent force that had been waiting, biding its time for the right moment to unleash its terror. The can had been purchased at a discount store, its price too good to pass up. It sat among other discounted items, unnoticed and unremarkable, until it found its way into the hands of an unsuspecting buyer. The cashier hesitated as she rang it up, a fleeting moment of unease crossing her face, but the buyer, a single mother named Sarah, paid it no mind. She was too preoccupied with her own thoughts to notice the subtle warning. That evening, as Sarah heated the soup, a strange odor filled the kitchen. It was an odor unlike any she had ever encountered, a mix of something acrid and metallic, mingling with the steam rising from the pot. It wasn't the comforting aroma of chicken and vegetables, but something acrid and metallic. The smell was so strong that it made her eyes water, but she brushed it off, thinking it was just her imagination. Her children complained about the smell, their faces scrunched up in disgust, but Sarah dismissed it as a trick of her tired mind. She was exhausted from a long day and just wanted to get dinner over with. She ladled the soup into 3 bowls, her children's protests falling on deaf ears. She was determined to make the best of the meal, unaware of the dark force she was about to unleash. As they ate, a palpable unease settled over the room. The soup tasted off, but they continued to eat, driven by hunger and routine, not realizing the true nature of what they were consuming. That night, the nightmares began. Each member of the family was plagued by vivid, disturbing dreams that felt all too real. Each member of the family was plagued by vivid, disturbing dreams. They saw twisted figures with empty eyes, stalking them through endless corridors, their footsteps echoing in the darkness. Twisted figures with empty eyes stalked them through endless corridors. The figures whispered in a language they couldn't understand, filling their minds with dread. Each morning they woke up drained, their minds filled with a nameless terror. The nightmares left them exhausted, their faces pale and drawn, as if the very life had been sucked out of them. Days turned into weeks, and the nightmares intensified. The once happy family was now a shadow of its former self. their lives consumed by the relentless terror that haunted their nights. Sarah's children grew withdrawn and fearful, their appetites replaced by constant nausea. They barely spoke, their eyes hollow and haunted, as if they were living in a waking nightmare. Desperate, Sarah sought help from doctors, therapists, even priests. But no one could explain the strange affliction. They offered no solace, only puzzled looks and empty reassurances. One night, as Sarah lay awake, she heard a noise coming from the kitchen. It was a soft, slurping sound, like something feeding, sending chills down her spine. It was a soft, slurping sound, like something feeding. The sound was so eerie and out of place that it made her skin crawl. Heart pounding, she crept towards the kitchen. Each step felt like an eternity, the darkness around her seeming to close in with every movement. There, on the counter, sat the empty can of soup, its lid peeled back. The sight of it filled her with an inexplicable dread, as if she were staring into the abyss. Emanating from the can, she sensed a presence, dark and hungry. It was a feeling of pure malevolence, a darkness that seemed to reach out and touch her soul. The can of soup had become a portal to a realm of unimaginable horror, a gateway to a place where nightmares were born and fed upon the fears of the living. Sarah and her children had become unwitting participants in a ritual as old as time, a dark ceremony that required their fear and suffering to sustain its power. What became of Sarah and her children remains a mystery. Their home was found abandoned, the air thick with an unexplainable sense of dread. Some say they were driven mad, their sanity devoured by the entity, their minds twisted and broken, lost to the darkness that had claimed them. Others believe they were taken, their bodies and souls consumed, swallowed by the malevolent force that had been unleashed from the can. The can of soup vanished, leaving behind only a chilling silence, a silence that seemed to echo with the whispers of the damned. Remember this tale, my friends, the next time you reach for a quick meal, for you never know what darkness might be lurking within the seemingly innocent items on your pantry shelf. For you never know what darkness might be lurking within. The hidden side of everyday foods can be a terrifying place, a place where nightmares are born. The hidden side of everyday foods can be a terrifying place. Even the most mundane items can harbor secrets that are best left undiscovered. Even the most innocent-looking meal can become a gateway to a nightmare. So be cautious, and always be aware of what you bring into your home. There you have it, my friends. 3 chilling tales of the hidden horrors that lurk beneath the surface of the ordinary. If you enjoyed these stories, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more terrifying tales. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, sleep tight and be careful what you consume. The next bite you take might just be your last.